Hello, hello, wherever you are in the world. My name is Agnes van Rhijn, and I am a business success strategist at Success on Your Own Terms, where I help you create the life and the business you want on your own terms. Today, it's my privilege to be interviewing Jenna-Lee Anderson. Jenna-Lee is a public speaker, psychologist, and weight loss coach. Overweight from the age of 7, Jenna-Lee eventually tipped the scale at 25 stones, which is 150 kilo, before health problems forced her to confront her eating addiction. Maintaining a 15 stones, 93 kilo, weight loss for 10 years, Jenna-Lee has been on the weight loss journey of a lifetime. She is the glamorous proof that anyone can go from fat to fabulous. Welcome to the Woman Who Makes Things Happen show, Jenna-Lee. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Agnes. Nice to see you.
It's so amazing to see you. I know your story, and when I see you like that, I find it so hard to imagine where you come from. So tell us more.
Okay, so like you said, I was an overweight child who grew into an overweight adult. And at my heaviest, excuse me, I tipped the scales at 25 stone and I was desperately unhappy. And I'd grown up in a household where food was used as a form, as an expression of emotion, as an expression of love. And I learned to use food. Excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. I learned to use food in an unhealthy way, and I developed an unhealthy relationship with it. So there came a point where I was diagnosed with a mystery illness, and I was sent for a scan. And when I went for the scan, I got stuck in the MRI machine. And at that point, I hit rock bottom and realised that, you know, it was I either wanted to just stop living or something had to change. And I've not long had my daughter at that point, so I had a lot to live for, even though I was at my lowest. And just to sort of show you what I looked like at that point, because you can see me now, here's a picture for your listeners. That's my daughter on in the corner. Mm-hmm. But that was me. That was me at my heaviest.
Oh my God! What a difference! What a difference!
Yeah, so it was quite a substantial weight. So I had to then begin to look at, because I've been dieting like most women. I've been on the diet roundabout for all my life since I was a child, and I realised it was something not quite right beyond diet and exercise, and there was a deeper issue at play there. So it was about going into a journey where I discovered what the root cause of my behaviour was. And going into therapy myself, I started to uncover there were patterns that had been playing out in my life all my life with regards to food. And I was able to trace these patterns back to their point of origin, which was the death of my brother. So when I was 5, it was my 5th birthday. It was Saturday. It was coming up to my 6th birthday, rather. I was 5. It was Saturday. I was having a great time, looking forward to celebrating my birthday on Monday. And then on the Sunday, my brother was suddenly taken very ill. And on Monday morning, he died. And at that age, it's my 6th birthday, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. I didn't understand what was happening. One minute I have a brother, one minute I don't. Nobody explained anything to me. And I desperately wanted my mom. And my Aunt Ruth was looking after me at the time, and she gave me a cheese sandwich and told me to sit in the corner and just mind my own business and just eat the sandwich. So I'm processing all of this drama that's going on around me, eating this sandwich. That's the only thing I've got for comfort, thinking I'm the reason why this unhappiness is escalating and is happening. If I'm happy, I don't deserve to be happy. I can't be happy. When I'm happy, people die. Things go terribly because I'm sick. And nobody wished me happy birthday, so there was nobody to sort of counterbalance the experience that I was having. Nobody kind of said, look, it's not you, this is one of those things that's happened. Nobody explained anything to me, so I processed that internally as being responsible, and that was the start of my unhealthy relationship with food. So whenever I felt sad or happy or angry or anything, I would eat. And the thing I always turned back to was bread and cheese in various formations, in various sort of formats. I would eat bread and cheese. And in addition, so that was this pattern of behaviour that was set from the age of 5/6 for my 6th birthday. The other thing that happened was that I grew up in a household. My mother loves me desperately. You know, I would never, ever, ever say a bad word about my mum, but she was never an emotional woman. You know, she was always focused about keeping a roof over our heads, making sure there was food on the table, we were clothed and fed. So there wasn't much room left over in her, you know, in her for emotional development and just being emotionally there. So what she would do, because she didn't know any better herself, was she would feed me. So if I'd had a bad day at school, she'd make me my favourite dinner. Friday was a special treat. Friday was our special day.
I can so picture it.
Friday was a special day where we would have takeaway, we would have McDonald's, or she would make omelette and chips, was another cheese omelette and chips she would do. So a lot of her expression of love was with food. So I learned at a very, very early age that if people love you, they feed you. If you have emotions, you should eat and suppress them. I never learned to express things like anger, and I never allowed myself to feel happiness for myself. So I always lived vicariously through others, and I always made sure that other people were happy. And I really put a lot of effort into giving to others. And as a woman, as I look back now, I can see that behaviour so clearly. And I also see it in other people. I also recognise that women in particular, we give a lot. You know, we care about other people at the expense of ourselves. And the truth is, when you do that, when you give so much of yourself at the expense of yourself, you're actually denying the world your true gift, because you're not giving all of you. There's a bit that's being held back. So now the work I do, because I'm a psychologist, is to help people, men and women, who are emotional eaters and who are struggling to lose weight. That's my area, to identify their own root causes and their own patterns, and to change them, and to begin to reframe them, and to grow from a place of healing and transformation. It's quite straightforward, but a lot of us don't realise that our behaviour is formed, our beliefs, our values come from a very early age. So early that we don't recognise, we don't even acknowledge them. The same kind of subconscious behaviour that teaches us to walk, that we learn to walk and talk and go to the bathroom, all those things that we do automatically. Our attitude to our behaviours are formed in the same way at the same time. It's
fascinating, and it's interesting because I work with my clients with exactly the same approach. I'm basing everything on that also, those ages, those first years of your life where you are shaping, in fact, completely who you are and your belief system. But obviously, given I'm not working with my clients on weight loss, I never thought of applying it that, you know, but it makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. Everything stems from there, in fact. So I'm not surprised that you're getting amazing results, and well, you're the living proof of it. So so at some point then you decided to make a business out of this. How did you go that route?
Me ending up in business was one of those strange twists of fate. Where you are guided. I think that's the best way to explain it. Everything falls into place and you're guided towards it. I went to a seminar that was about financial freedom, funny enough, and being able to create a life for yourself, being free, and finding what you're passionate about, being true to yourself and living in authenticity and all this great stuff. And something started to stir inside me, and I thought to myself, at the time I was working as an executive coach. And I thought, you know what, I'm really enjoying helping people, but it didn't quite feel like I was 100% in alignment. And I was working for a company, and I decided that I wanted to help people on my terms, and that I wanted to help my people in terms of people who have been struggling with their weight, because it's something that I understood. So I quit my job on a whim, and decided to set myself up in business. No experience, no background, no anything, just pure passion, and deciding that this is what I want to do. And I've had to learn. I've learned along the way, basically. I've had to adapt, and I've made mistakes. I've met wonderful people like yourself who are inspirational to me. and who who are inspirational to me and who I can learn from. So that's how I've ended up in business and creating my own pathway. But I haven't reinvented the wheel, because there are successful business owners out there already. So I haven't gone, right, let me just do it completely differently. There are basic rules that you have to follow. But I've stuck with myself. I've stayed true to who I am and what it is that I want to create and what I want to do. And ultimately, I always ask myself, in terms of business, my business focus is there's two parts to what I do. Is how can I serve? So how can I be of best service to people who need me or who want to work with me? What can I do to give them the best value, and also to help them ultimately have the life that they deserve and they desperately want? And then the second part of being in business is I've also got one idea. I've got one eye on how am I going to get out of this as well. So I don't want to be stuck in a business that I can't share, or I can't sell, or I can't move out from. So although I'm serving other people, and that's my primary focus, that's what I focus on from a business point of view. My objective is to create something that I can give to the world, but that doesn't rely on me. So I don't want to start my business. So that's it in terms of business. But everything, I love it. I just love helping people. I love the fact that I'm now responsible, and I've grown up. I've grown up through not just myself, because in terms of because of what I do, because I help people to lose weight, to change their mind. That's what I do. I know that's what I really do. Is I help people to change their perspective on themselves, and therefore the byproduct is that they lose weight. And all my clients,
that's what I was going to say. Yes, of course, they come for the weight loss, but there is so much more that happens through it. Because it's a transformation for them. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And that, I think, is key, because we all have problems. Everybody has a problem of some sort. And they think that the unhappiness that they feel in their life is down to the problem. But that's not really true. The problem is just a symptom. So in terms of my clients, it's the weight. If you are overweight, the weight isn't the problem. The behaviour that's causing you to overeat is the problem. So when we deal with the root cause, when we deal with the cause at the emotional level, when we deal with the problem at the cause level, at the emotional level, then it has to change. It's formulaic. It's 1 and 1 is 2. So if you change the formula, if you make 1 and 3, add 1 and 3, you get 4. You won't get 2. So when people deal with the root cause of their issue, the fruits change, the symptoms change, the outcomes change, and that's absolutely beautiful to watch and to be part of. And I really enjoy that.
It's interesting that you were referring to the fact that it started at a seminar around money, because the way people relate to money and to success, and as you say, it's more specifically true for women than it is for men, is in fact stemming exactly from the same time. When I work on that part of my program with my clients, we end up there also. It's all looking at the root causes, and it's all looking at what has generated the system of belief, of negative beliefs, of course. And looking at how you can change that. Jenna-Lee, before going further into what you do with your client, there's one thing I'm interested in that you mentioned also because a lot of women in particular, although men too, will leave a corporate job and just to go after the passion, and they have no clue whatsoever what a business is like, and you were referring to it. So I would be interested in having your views on that bit as well, is how did you handle that? The fact that, okay, your passion is one thing, but business, I don't know exactly how that works.
So I ended up having to, because I'm a very social person and I love people, and I use that to my advantage. So I contacted people, and I started to network, and I started to collaborate with people who were doing what I wanted to do. And I would go to network events, and the people who were people who were influential, or the people who seemed most stable, I would befriend them. And I was very honest, very, very honest. I said to people, look, I've just quit my job. I've got no money. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. Can you give me some advice? And when you come humble to people, when you're honest, with people, when you say straight up, look, I don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know what I'm doing, can you help me? Most people, well, everybody that I've encountered along my journey has been really supportive, well, because I was honest and I didn't know. And it's about finding good mentors. And I myself have a business coach, and I have a personal coach, somebody who coaches me. But you have, a coach needs a coach.
Of course.
So, I have a coach as well. And I approached her, and she's really successful. She's incredible. And I said to her, look, this is what I want to do. I have loads of energy, loads of passion. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I don't really know what I want to do, but I know I want to achieve. This is what I want to create. And she was like, okay, I'll work with you. And she agreed to work with me for free, for a year, because she believes in what I'm doing, and she's been a complete support. So I did a lot of reading as well, because I had no experience. There's so much stuff that I didn't know. I started to read. So I went to the library, and I would borrow books, and I'd watch YouTube videos just to get a sense of what it is, because there was a lot of things I didn't know. I knew I didn't know things, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And it was, there's stuff I'm like, I don't quite get it. I don't know stuff. And so I just did some research, and I took responsibility for my own learning. And I made the effort to go out there and to connect with people, and to grow, and be humble with it. And I learned resilience. That's the biggest thing I think I've taken in the last year or so, is that, life doesn't hate you. And in business, you are going to get knocked down, but it's how do you get back up? Your resilience will make a big difference to how successful you are. And again, success is personal, because what's successful for me may not be successful for you.
Exactly.
So being able to understand, know yourself before you do anything, and understand, there's a couple of emotional things that you've got to toughen up with, and you can't take things personally, and you're going to make mistakes. And I have a motto that I'm going to fail my way to success, because I'm constantly learning, but I get up faster, stronger, and quicker every time I take a knock. I learn. I ask, what did I learn? What did I learn? What do I learn? And move on. Let it go.
Definitely. It's never what life throws at us that is the problem. The problem is how we relate to it. And so as long as we continue searching the answers outside of ourselves, we think it's the other or the circumstances, and nothing will happen. But once you start taking charge and understanding, as you just so well described, that failure is not a failure. Never. It's a learning opportunity. And
absolutely.
So step back and think, okay, what did I learn in the process, and what will I do differently next time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I've developed a strategy, I guess, that I use, that I realize, again, because from a psychological point of view, our beliefs, people try to do a lot of things at the level of changing their behavior at the action level. So let me explain. Our beliefs, what you believe creates your thoughts. Your thoughts create your feelings create your actions, and your actions create your results. So what most people do is they start to change their results at the level of the action. So they start to do things, and they're doing things, and they're working. Of course, they're going to work, because you've got enthusiasm and passion, and you're determined to do it. The things start to change, so you will start to change your results. But if your belief is that ultimately, if your belief isn't in alignment with the actions that you're taking, you're going to get stuck. So you have to go back to your belief, and you have to address, what do you believe about yourself, which is why they're doing the work from the inside, no matter what it is, whether it's business development or weight loss or fitness, whatever your area is, whatever you're trying to achieve a result in, you have to look at what you truly believe.
Absolutely.
That's where the real work is. And like I said, a lot of our beliefs are handed down to us from when we're children. We come into the world as a blank piece of paper, and our primary caregivers, our parents, our schools, our religion, everything we come into contact with during those early impressionable years leaves like a fingerprint. Leaves a trace mark, a colour on that blank sheet of paper. And if it's positive, fantastic. You're a happy, healthy human being.
Unfortunately, it's often not.
Yeah, it's some of those beliefs that you've been handed down. Yeah, if some of those beliefs that you've been handed down damaging to your self-confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth, then no matter what you do at the action level, if your true belief, your true subconscious belief is that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve it, then you're never going to achieve the result that you deserve. So you've got to do the work and be prepared to go back and dig deep and sort of look at the root causes. And that's challenging, but it's worth it. It's worth
Absolutely.
it. It's uncomfortable. It can be uncomfortable because you suddenly start to open a whole bag of experiences.
And it's the unknown, so it's scary.
Yeah, and it is definitely frightening. And a lot of people, suddenly the resistance comes up, but you have to push through. And that's when you need the support of having somebody to help you someone to guide you through that. I'm speaking from my own experience because, as a therapist, I've had the most therapy. Therapist, heal thyself. So through my own experience of being in counselling and then understanding the science, because as a psychologist, you have to learn the science of psychology.
Yeah, of course.
Putting it all together, I can see how tough it is for people. I can understand why people resist going there, but then I really do encourage people, and I am quite hard with my own clients in pushing them to push past that barrier, because on the other side is your freedom. You really are free if you can make it through, if you push through.
I know that I quite often have with my clients as well that they hate it when I start saying, what are you resisting here? I'm not resisting anything, but I said, but what are you resisting here? And it's always about resistance. Time flies. So tell us more about how you work with your clients, and before I forget, where they can find you.
Okay, so I'm going to give you. I'll leave your lovely viewers with a couple of tips, which I'll condense really, really short. So I want to leave people with something that they can actually work with. So when working with my clients, what I do is I get them to look at three things. Your objective. What do you truly want? And that's the first question that we all need to ask ourselves. And then once you understand what you want, and this is very simplified, what I'm saying, I've simplified it down. What do you want? Identify what your goal is. And then identify, why do you want it? And I don't mean in a practical sense. Yes, of course, if you want to make more money or you want to run a successful business, there's going to be an external motivation behind that. Fantastic.
But it's not the big why.
No, the question that you really need to ask is what do you want to feel? So once you start to identify what you want to feel, the next step is what action do you need to take in order to achieve the goal based on what you want to feel, but make it tiny. I don't believe in setting yourself humongous action steps that you're never going to take, that you're going to fall down on. So what I say to my clients is what we're after is a 1% improvement consistently 1%. So it could be something in terms of weight loss. It might be if you have 4 cups of coffee a day, then go just having 1. That's not going to kill you. Most people can do that. So make the actions tiny, and that will get the ball rolling and build momentum for you to get the success that you want. So if anybody is on the weight loss journey and they would like to work with me, that would be absolutely fantastic. What I would like to do is offer your viewers the opportunity of having a free one-to-one coaching session with me, where we can establish what's going on in your life, and I can help you to have some insights and aha moments that can begin your weight loss journey, and to get things moving for you on that level. And to do the free coaching session, it's by Skype. I have a little placard here for everybody if they can see it. If you just send me an email to info@jlasuccess.com. There's also the website there, which has got before and after pictures and all kinds of information about what I do. info@jlasuccess.com, and just tell me a little bit about yourself. And if you would like to explore the psychology of successful weight loss, then we can arrange that free Skype session and take it from there. So hopefully that will be great. That will be helpful to your wonderful viewers.
I definitely recommend that you have that session with Jenna-Lee. I mean, her own story is amazing. As I mentioned multiple times already, she's a living proof that it works. Go for that session.
Yay!
So, Jenna, we are at the end of our time together already. And
it feels like 5 minutes.
Sorry?
It feels like we've just been talking for 5 minutes. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've said it a few times. Originally, I had those interviews were lasting 1 hour, and for me, they felt 5 minutes as well. Yeah. But it's a long time for people to take out the time to listen or to view.
It's a lot of information.
it's unfortunately too much, but well, if they want more, they can come and see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Jenna, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your nice tips, and for the viewers and listeners, if you too want to create success, whatever that means to you, on your own terms, you can get a free discovery consultation with me too. And for that, you can go to my website, and that is www.anyesvanrhijn.com. That is ANYESVANRHIJN.com. See you next interview. Thank you, Jenna. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.